are 7 villains you were supposed to hate. Starting with Dr. Doofenshmirtz from Phineas and Ferb.
There are lots of horrid people on this planet.
Doofenshmirtz is an evil scientist who builds machine after machine. The Mustachinator, the Baby Cryinator, the Smellinator. Whatever the grievance of the day is, there's an inator for it.
Poopinator! Vanessa, please.
Only to get foiled by his nemesis, Perry the Platypus. Almost every single episode, 4 seasons straight.
Well, that didn't work.
Honestly, he's less a villain and more a guy who should be legally banned from Home Depot. That would solve about 90% of the tri-state area's problems. But in Season 3, the show gives us Doofenshmirtz's backstory, and it's one of the most devastating portraits of a neglected childhood any cartoon has ever committed to.
Where's Mom?
She didn't, show up for the birth.
He came into the world and no one was there. The 2 people responsible for his existence decided they had somewhere else to be. Then at the age of 5, he was forced to throw his own surprise party at Gunther Goat Cheese's, where the restaurant would eventually take his cake back because of a 2-person minimum.
Later, they confiscated the cake.
Imagine not qualifying for a birthday cake. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't recover from something like that. But Doofenshmirtz had been through worse. When his family's lawn gnome was repossessed, his father dressed him up as a replacement and made him stand motionless in the garden for hours, while the neighborhood kids played around him. Anytime he moved, his father yelled.
Bewegen Sie nicht!
That's German for don't move. His dad really said, "You're furniture now." I'm no shrink, but that ought to give you the most insane case of daddy issues known to mankind. Then the family got a dog and named it Only Son because it was, quote, like the son they never had.
Became an award-winning show dog, bringing my father fame and fortune.
Man, I just want to give this man a hug. Then Roger was born. His parents were expecting a girl, so his mother spent months netting dresses. The baby turned out to be a boy, and since they had no fabric left, they just put the dresses on Doof. For a year, while his classmates watched. Roger, meanwhile, became his mother's favorite. But even that wasn't the worst thing to happen to Doofenshmirtz.
Basically, my parents disowned me. I was being raised by ocelots.
You know what? Maybe my parents making me clean my room wasn't so bad after all. But here's the thing about this guy that the show hides inside all the comedy. Every single inator he ever built points directly back to a specific wound. His brother Roger got every form of love and recognition that Heinz never received. Roger is always the real target. He kept losing at the science fair to a baking soda volcano for years. He brings it up in his 40s like it happened yesterday.
Curiously, I still lost to a baking soda volcano.
His evil is not evil. It's just a man trying to fix things that should have been fixed when he was small. And that is deeply, uncomfortably relatable. Somehow through it all, he was a good dad.
Maybe you're not so bad at dad after all.
His daughter Vanessa thinks he's embarrassing and doesn't believe in any of his schemes, and he still shows up to every single birthday. He is trying, loudly and awkwardly, to be the parent nobody was for him. And his old nemesis thing with Perry? They are technically enemies. What they actually built? One trapped in a layer conversation at a time is the closest thing this man has to a friendship.
My real best friend is Perry the Black.
Or something like that. The reason Doofenshmirtz wants to take over the tri-state area is not really because he's evil, it's because nobody ever told him he mattered. And if you cannot be known as someone who matters, the next best thing is to be known as someone who has to be stopped. Ain't nothing funny about that. The show just makes it look that way for 4 seasons. And you left. We all left. That was exactly the point. Speaking of people who got absolutely cooked by life and never once recovered, every school has a Mr. Crocker. The teacher who seems personally offended by the existence of children, who gives out Fs like they get a commission, and has one unhinged obsession that consumes their entire personality. In The Fairly Odd Parents, Mr. Crocker is that teacher, except his obsession is proving that Fairly Godparents exist, which he shouts while his body spasms through the words in 3 stages. Every student in that school fears March 15th. It's the day Crocker is at his most dangerous, even by his own standards, and nobody knows why. Alright, I gotta hand it to Crocker, that was wildly creative. But it isn't until season 3 that we find why he reaches new heights in terror on March 15th. And I'm warning you right now, you cannot unknow this. Timmy Turner goes back in time to find out what made Crocker the person he is. He lands in 1972, and the Denzel Crocker he finds is not the hunchbacked, ear-necked obsessive from the present. He's a cheerful 10-year-old, a hero. He's about to risk his life to save Timmy's dad from being hit by a semi-truck.
Take my hand if you want to live!
I mean, the man was thriving. The next day was gonna be officially declared Denzel Crocker Day in his honor.
I'm learning that the mayor is declaring tomorrow, March 15th, Denzel Crocker Day!
I can't wait to tell my mom!
But then, Timmy notices 2 green and pink parrots in Crocker's room. They are definitely not parrots.
Know how I'd be able to bear it if it weren't for you two? Cosmo and Wanda!
Yes, that's real. Cosmo and Wanda were Crocker's fairy godparents before they were Timmy's. Timmy's whole mission was to prevent the moment that broke Crocker's life, but he fails. His attempt to stop it accidentally causes Cosmo to transform in front of the entire town that had just gathered to celebrate Crocker's day.
If I was a fairy, I'd look like this!
Exactly, buddy. Jurgen von Strangle, the boss of all fairies, drops out of the sky. Cosmo and Wanda get immediately reassigned, and their memories of Crocker are wiped. His memories of ever having fairies are also wiped. But what's even more tragic is that the overdose from the memory wipe physically disfigures them. And the town, who no longer remember why they showed up, does this.
So we must be an angry mob!
The man saved someone's life the day before, and this is his reward. Now, before you start blaming Timmy for this, the show makes clear that this was always gonna happen. Cosmo was gonna slip up anyway, so Timmy did not cause the tragedy, he just confirmed it could never be prevented. He watched the whole thing fall apart in front of him, and Jurgen banned him from ever going back to fix it. But before Jurgen wiped his memory, Crocker, being the smartass he is, managed to leave himself one note.
Fairy godparents exist.
That note is the only thing that survived the erasure. He does not remember Cosmo and Wanda, he does not remember what it felt like. But somewhere beneath the damage, he knows he's right. And he has spent every year since trying to chase a memory he cannot access. Getting laughed out of universities, building fairy detectors out of egg beaters. He isn't crazy, he's obsessed because he's correct. And that's so much sadder. Had none of this happened, Crocker would have become a handsome, successful college professor. His hunched back, his crooked teeth, his neck. All of it was what the memory wipe did to him physically. Poor guy got nerfed pretty bad. You and I laughed at Mr. Crocker for 3 seasons. He deserved it, technically. He was awful to those kids. But the show built up that comedy on purpose, knowing that when it finally told you this story, it would hit you like a desk to the face.
Mojo Jojo!
This guy's the most reliable villain in Townsville. Every week he comes up with a grand scheme and the Powerpuff Girls show up to stop him. He gets thrown through a wall, but he adjusts his helmet and plots his next move. His definition of try again. If trying means repeatedly getting your plans destroyed by kindergarteners. Classic cartoon villain. Very fun to watch lose. That is, until the show tells you who he was before any of this.
Just a desperate cry for help from a little lost monkey.
His name was Jojo, Professor Utonium's lab assistant. A regular chimpanzee, chaotic, destructive, knocking everything over constantly. He wasn't evil though, just a monkey in a lab, which is honestly the professor's own fault for the record.
We were very happy together.
The night the Powerpuff Girls were created, Jojo pushed the professor towards the Chemical X container. The spill created the girls, but it also did something else.
My simple simian brain began to mutate.
That explains the god-awful helmet you see in every episode. Bro could have done so much better than that white turban, not gonna lie. Anyway, back to the evil genius. So the same explosion made the heroes and the villain. The girls got superpowers and a father who adored them on sight. Jojo got super intelligence, which sounds like a fair trade, until you realize that intelligence was immediately used to understand, with perfect clarity, that he had just been replaced. Same room, same explosion, two completely different outcomes. That one detail built the entire arc, and I think about it more than I should.
Next to these superhuman strengths, my brilliant accomplishments went unnoticed.
And what did Jojo do with a brain that could now outthink almost every human on Earth? He built a lair. He became Mojo Jojo and dedicated his extraordinary intelligence to defeating 3 kindergarteners who represent everything the explosion gave everyone except him. The show doesn't pretend he's innocent or anything. I mean, this is how the professor remembers him.
All you ever did was break everything you got your grimy little paws on.
But Chemical X dropped a genius-level brain into a creature who already felt displaced in a world that immediately decided he was a monster and then left him with no one.
Talking about, it's always the girls, never poor Jojo.
But there's one more layer that makes it genuinely funny in a dark way. Mojo Jojo actually created the Powerpuff Girls. He pushed the professor. Without that push, the accident doesn't happen. The girls do not exist, and Mojo Jojo does not exist either. He's the origin of his own enemies and the architect of his own suffering. He spent years not knowing this, but when he finally finds out,
It was me. It was me.
bro went into serious trauma. As did our next villain, Azula from Avatar, whose father gives pretty strong competition to Doofenshmirtz's old man.
There will be no place left to hide.
When Azula shows up in Avatar The Last Airbender, she's already operating at a level that makes every other threat in the show look like a warm-up act.
Almost perfect. One hair out of place.
Almost isn't good enough.
She takes down Ba Sing Se, a fortress that has never fallen, not by force, but by infiltrating it and turning its own army against it. She almost killed Aang.
You've got to get out of here. I'll hold them off as long as I can.
Let's be honest, we all love Iroh. She's the main threat for 2 full seasons. We're introduced to her as a force of nature, cold, precise, winning, the perfect villain. And then the show, piece by piece, shows us who built her.
Just like her grandfather for whom she's named.
You'll never catch up.
Ozai made a decision early in both of his children's lives. Zuko would be the failure, the weak one, the emotional one, the son to be burned and exiled to teach a lesson. And Azula would be the weapon. So from childhood, Ozai cultivated her cruelty, rewarded her perfectionism, and trained her to see emotion as weakness and domination as the only language worth speaking. Her blue fire, her lightning, all of it developed under his direct instruction and approval. He did not raise a daughter, he manufactured an instrument of war. And that instrument worked exactly as designed. That is the most horrifying part.
What I don't understand is why. Why would you do it? You know the consequences.
Her 2 closest companions, Mei and Ty Lee, stayed with her not out of love, but out of fear. She says this directly. She keeps people close through intimidation. When they eventually stop being afraid at the Boiling Rock in Season 3 and chose to protect Zuko over staying loyal to her, she has no idea what to do with it. She's never been chosen over. She's only been obeyed. That is the entire architecture of her emotional world, and it was built that way on purpose by her father, starting when she was a child.
To declare you the new Fire Lord.
Fire Lord Azula?
After the betrayal, everything unravels. Her father gives her the throne and then puts himself above it to go fight the final battle without her. She was given power and discarded at the same time, and she starts firing servants for trivial mistakes.
You are banished. Leave this palace immediately.
She also starts seeing hallucinations of her mother. And here's the thing about Azula's mother, Ursa. She was afraid of her daughter. And Azula knew it. She spent her entire childhood knowing that the person who was supposed to love her unconditionally looked at her and saw something wrong. And she could not stop becoming the thing her mother feared because Ozai made sure of it.
I didn't want to miss my own daughter's coronation.
Don't pretend to act proud.
There was no version of her childhood where both things could become true at the same time. She never had a choice. The Agni Kai in the finale is still extraordinary. She's still performing, still trying to win. And then she breaks one of her own rules, attacks Katara instead of Zuko because she cannot accept losing, and Katara chains her. She ends up on the ground, completely broken, sobbing. She's 14 years old. There's a person in there who never got a single chance of becoming anything other than what Ozai needed her to be. What an absolute narcissist. What comes next is somehow even sadder, but this one needs some context first. Steven Universe is a show about an extraterrestrial species called gems, living gemstones with physical forms. A small group of them, the Crystal Gems, spend the series defending Earth from their own home civilization. That civilization was ruled by 4 powerful diamonds. One of them, Pink Diamond, eventually became the Crystal Gems' leader, Rose Quartz, gave up her physical form, and became the mother of Steven, the half-human protagonist. Pink Diamond is gone by the time the movie starts. Steven is 16, and the wars are over. Everyone's trying to figure out what peace actually looks like. And then...
Hey! Are you Steven Universe?
Yes?
You see that giant injector? The person operating it is Spinel, a gem. She poofs garnet, amethyst, and pearl almost immediately and starts filling the ground with a substance that will kill all organic life on Earth. She's a genuine, credible threat from the first minutes of the movie.
What's the matter, Steven? Miss your friends already?
Her opening number is furious and unhinged and heartbroken all at once. You already know something is off about framing her as a regular villain, but the film lets you sit with her as the threat first, smartest move it makes. Then it takes you to Pink Diamond's garden, and Spinel tells Steven everything. She was created to be Pink Diamond's companion, built specifically to entertain her, play with her, and be her best friend. The two of them spend their time in this enormous enclosed garden, playing games every day. And it sounds like a good deal for both of them. 2 people who needed company finding it.
Stand very still. This'll be so much fun.
Then Yellow and Blue Diamond called. Pink was given a colony, Earth. She was leaving. Spinel tried to follow, but Pink told her they were gonna play one more game first. The game was Spinel had to stand perfectly still in the garden and wait. Pink would come back for her, but Pink Diamond never came back. And Spinel stood in that garden for 6,000 years.
Happy to stay. Happily watching.
The flowers died, the pillars crumbled. Vines grew on Spinel's body because she did not move. During the entire 5-season run of the Steven Universe series, during every adventure and every moment of growth you watched, Spinel was already in that garden, standing, waiting. So while you were watching the show, she was probably still there. What finally broke the wait was Steven's broadcast announcing peace had finally come to the universe. Spinel in the garden received a signal. She learned that Pink Diamond no longer existed, that she had given up her physical form to have a son, and she had spent thousands of years living a whole new life, making new friends, having adventures, becoming Rose Quartz. She had in fact never come back.
I can't believe Mom did that to you. Actually, I can totally believe it.
The Spinel that shows up on Earth in the film is what 6,000 years of standing still and waiting does to a person. The anger is not disproportionate to what happened, it's exactly proportionate. And that's the most unsettling thing the movie does, which is make the math add up. The movie does not let Pink Diamond be a simple monster either, which is what makes the whole thing a lot worse. Pink was not cruel out of malice. She outgrew Spinel, was embarrassed by her in front of the other diamonds, and did not know how to end things honestly. So she created a game that Spinel would never stop playing. She avoided the conversation and left for Earth, and slowly stopped thinking about it. Now, that's not extraordinary evil. That's just a thoughtless thing that someone with power did to someone who had no power. And the cost of it was 6,000 years. Steven's answer is to tell her directly that Pink Diamond was wrong, that Spinel deserved better, that she can start again somewhere. She will not be left behind.
I could do that standing on my head.
By the end of the film, she goes to live with the Diamonds, who love her immediately for exactly what she is. And the garden is still there, empty, and nobody will ever remember it. Then there's Rob, a villain whose tragedy has nothing to do with trauma, bad parents, or cursed objects. Just a show that decided he didn't matter.
I will be your nemesis.
He may look tough now, but let me tell you something about Rob. He was a background character at Elmore Junior High. And when I say background character, I mean background character.
See that hole? Darwin! I can't believe you just did that! Did what?
And honestly, the idea of taking a random background character and turning them into a villain is one of the most creative things Gumball ever did. The universe itself originally thought he was a mistake and trapped him in the void. But he escaped, shattering his physical body in the process and becoming a mix of different art styles. Some of his body is 2D, his head is 3D, different parts of him glitch in and out. It's like the universe doesn't even know what to do with him anymore.
You left me disfigured, a nobody.
Then he becomes obsessed with destroying Gumball's life, which he sees as his new purpose. His hate towards Gumball was a bit unjustified. It wasn't his fault. Gumball and Darwin went into the void to rescue a classmate named Molly. They found her and brought her home, but Rob was in the void too. They didn't hear him. And when they came back out, their memories of everything inside were erased. They never even knew Rob was there. But if that's the reason he returned as a villain, why wouldn't he be mad at Darwin, Mr. Small, or Molly too? On the other hand, I have to think his unjustified hatred shows just how psychologically hurt he was after escaping.
Guys, over here!
I was one of the world's mistakes.
And that's when he makes a decision. He's gonna be the villain. But hey, Rob understood something Gumball did not. The world of Elmore is a fictional one with roles that need to be filled. Gumball is the protagonist. That means someone has to be the antagonist. And the only role left after the void spit him back out, disfigured and irrelevant, was the villain. He accepted it not out of evil, but out of a terrible, clear-eyed logic. He became evil because it was the only way to exist.
Sorry, man. All the good personalities are taken.
All Rob ever wanted was a place in the story, and defeating the protagonist does not give him that. It just leaves him in a world with no story to be part of. So once he finally comes close to destroying Gumball, he reverses everything.
I couldn't do it. You came all that way to save me. You're actually quite hard to hate.
He gives up the only victory he ever achieved, because winning did not fix the thing that was actually broken. To be honest, I wish we had more episodes of him as the main villain he always wanted to be. But I guess the writers didn't want to treat him like the plankton of the show. In the final scene of Gumball, everyone actually gives Rob a chance to explain everything, what his true intentions were behind his last few appearances. But Tina beats the hell out of him before he can explain for some reason.
I think that's quite enough.
Thank you. Thank you.
Like, come on, that was uncalled for. The episode cuts to the credits before quickly fading to Rob lying unconscious on the floor. He wakes up and vents out to himself about everything. Again, he still has a lot of unsolved emotional problems, and those may never be solved as he's stuck in the void for the third and final time, screaming for his life.
Oh no, it started.
I'm not okay, and I refuse to pretend otherwise. So none of these characters started as villains. This show just never showed you what came before. If this is your thing, this video is exactly what you're looking for. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one, and see you there.